Hello! I'm here with Megan, and Megan has the wonderful Luke, the German Shepherd mix. And we're going to do a behavior session for him and his dog Reactivity. And do you want to say anything about what his triggers are like? All dogs, any dogs, some dogs, only
all dogs, any dogs. He really wants a dog friend to play with, and it comes out anytime he sees another dog around.
And about how far away is the dog?
I mean, pretty much any distance gets him tuned into it and quivering with excitement.
Okay.
But the closer, maybe like 20 feet away, it's like lose all marbles.
Okay. So it sounds like the threshold for keeping it together could be about 20 feet?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I'm bad with distances, but that's my guess.
And so when he reacts, what does he do?
Jumping, pulling on the leash, barking, a wooing.
A wooing.
A wooing.
I like that word.
Yeah. Basically, all excitement. Let's play. Oh goodness, look at me right now. I'm over here. Come play with me.
Okay. And when you've worked on it in the past, what have you tried before?
A previous trainer had like a compressed air spray that we used. Pet corrector, yeah.
Okay.
That, worked temporarily, but I think really just built it up in his head until it got even worse overall, until I found you, thank goodness. And now he is wonderful with most things except seeing other dogs.
Yes. And he's what I would consider, just from having worked together before, I would consider him reactive in the sense that he's an overeager greeter. He doesn't really have any anger per se.
No.
He's just really excited, and that makes him frustrated, and that makes him angry.
He loves everyone, but he doesn't know how to display his love in appropriate ways.
I relate.
Yeah.
So,
like mother, like son.
Indeed. So when we're dealing with his kind of reactivity, I wanted to double check and see, like, have you used other tools besides the pet corrector? Have you tried any collars or any harnesses or anything?
I mean, just his normal harness and collar combo. No, like, punitive collars in any way.
Okay.
Mostly it's a frantic effort to try and gain his attention with good treats, which is just only works once he's down a certain point.
Yes. And I know he is kind of weird about food sometimes.
Yes.
Even at home.
Yes.
He's not a big meal eater. He's not generally a big chewer or big into what normal dogs would consider a good treat, right?
Yeah.
He's
I mean, he loves to
kinda
chew his toys.
Yes. But not
crazy chewer on
food.
toys, but will graze, skip breakfast, takes a few hours to eat his dinner, but typically will be happy to eat treats.
Okay.
Unless he gets bored of them.
Right. So he's always been a little odd.
Yes.
About food.
Yes.
And he's
the beef
how
liver
old
is the
now?
best so far. He just turned 3 a couple months ago.
Okay.
And he was a COVID puppy. I mean,
Noted.
It wasn't a impromptu thing. It was a well thought out thing, but the timing was the timing. So.
Yes, and COVID puppies have the disadvantage of not having a whole lot of puppy classes to be able to go to make friends and learn how to socialize with not litter mates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he, I think, was separated from his mom at like 6 weeks old.
Oh, too young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was a big litter of 13 at the shelter.
Yeah. Wow.
And so at 6 weeks
when they weaned, basically.
Yeah, and they never told me, but I have a very strong suspicion that he was in the group that got separated from mom earlier, and how he acts. And also his group, he was in the group that got up for adoption a week earlier than the other group, and I wondered if they had started.
Got it. Sorry for the tractor noise. And then is there anything you wanted to say about just him in general, working with him, how he is, other than he's the most handsome dude you've ever met?
That is true. I do gaze longingly at him all the time. He's smarter than I could ever dream of being.
I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate.
Just when I think, I think he's just kind of a doofy dork, he reminds me just how incredibly clever he is.
Yes, and that's very typical of shepherds, I
Yes.
feel like. Yes.
He's like, you're underestimating me, let me remind you.
How kind of you.
Yes.
Thank you for that reminder.
Yes.
That's appreciated.
Yes.
Hi, buddy. All right. Any questions before we start?
No.
Okay. No.
You're so handsome. Hi.
What this?
I know, this weird, huh?
It took me like forever to figure out how. So I'm here for Luke's session, and I have my wonderful Dakota with me. He's very excited to be at the park, like a lot. And so we are going to start Luke's session, and I'm going to switch views and show you how far away we are to start with for him. So Luke is way over there by the fence again, and we are way back here. It's probably 200 feet, not quite as far as I gave for Arya, but still pretty far. And we're just gonna follow like this. And I just wanted to preface this session to say Luke is generally a very vocal guy. Being a German Shepherd, he likes to talk and woo-woo about like everything. He woo-woos to say hi to me when he's excited. So I'm not sure for him having everything be silent today is realistic, but it's never gonna be like an angry sound. I'm gonna stay back here so that we never have any angry woos. So there's a look, I'm gonna stop. He lets it go, I keep walking. Anytime they stop and stare, that's a no, even if it's for a good reason. So Luke is not mad or scared that we're behind him. Luke is excited and happy that we're behind him. But if he stops and stares, I'm still going to interpret that as a no, because I do not want to reward overly excited greeting behaviors and encourage him to become kind of like an adrenaline junkie. Especially because he's a shepherd. We need to help them monitor their arousal levels. That's very typical for the breed, just to get overly excited and then kind of lose their minds. Good recovery. And so this first part I usually talk about being for dogs who are fearful, having the thing behind them so that they are always walking away from it instead of into it if the dog were in front of him. But he's not afraid, he's just overexcited. And this actually helps them calm down in the same way because they're not constantly getting excited. They have this wonderful environment to sniff and explore that they're walking toward. And the excitement of the dog is behind them. So we don't have to worry about overdoing his arousal. Here's Dakota for
Hi, baby.
reference. So just based on how he's looking, I would actually say his threshold is bigger than 20 feet, because those stairs that he does, to me, that's reactivity. That's the first level. And I don't want it to get past that. So when she said his threshold is like 20 feet, we're currently at about 50. I would say this is his threshold. I would not push past here yet because of that hard stare he does. You can treat him. Good boy. And I know he's, like I said, kind of weird about food. But he's taking it. Good boy. So remember, the rule is they can get treated like now for looking at us, and they can get treated for looking at the owner at any time. Good boy! Throughout the whole game. So we've worked up to getting much closer. We're at about what she said his distance was. This is more like 20 feet now. And those hard stairs, that's when I stop. Good cover, good. And the treat is if we're looking at us or if we're looking at her. You notice his tail is starting to come down. That was a look and a walk away. That's much better. We don't have the stop and stare, and we checked in with mom. Beautiful. Nice. I like those. So that's a yes. I'm allowed to get closer then, because he's able to keep his mind together. That's a little slower on a stop, so I stop. Good. Nice recovery though. It's very low stress for everybody. It's low stress on the owner, it's low stress on the dog. So remember, if they stop, I stop. We don't keep going, we just wait. Dakota is not allowed to just stare at him. He has to stand sideways like this and not look. Eye contact puts pressure on. And in a case like Luke, who's overly friendly and overly excitable, eye pressure means let's play, which is not helpful for him learning how to do this calmly and politely. So we're starting to get pretty close. Probably about 15 feet away. Nice sniffing. Always allow the sniffing. Dakota is not looking. Good boy. Nice recovery. Very good. Here's Dakota for reference. So we're getting quite close. Nice recovery, Luke. I notice Dakota's head is down. He's sniffing, just being a dog. I don't have him working. That's deliberate. This needs to look as organic as possible. Notice Dakota's default is to ignore. So when we have a lunge like that, because owner stopped, I stop, and we don't make a big fuss out of it. We just keep walking.
he's lost interest, I'll keep going. If he gets interest again, I'll stop. But ideally, the owner doesn't stop walking if the dog's moving, so he doesn't do that. But that was a good recovery. So very often we are seeing neutral behaviors from Luke like that, where he will look and circle at the same time. And we are within about 10 feet away. So I will let them experience being like this with another dog for a little while before we turn around and change the game. Love that look. Right at Dakota and just keep walking. It's beautiful. And then we'll run away. Good. Keep walking for me, Megan. So I've been walking behind Luke within about 10 feet for a little while, a few minutes. And Luke is sniffing and generally acting neutral, which is fabulous. So we're going to turn around, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to turn around first. They're still sniffing. I'm going to get a little space. Then, okay, you can come. So we're not particularly excited, reacting, upset, even at the moment of turning around. Good. So we just had a bit of a joke. Now that Luke's following me, this threshold is much bigger because we're working primarily on the excitement and the frustration now, which is his biggest issue. So that's them. I can't do this. There we go. That's them way back there. And Megan said, okay, this far away, he's finally calm. What's this distance? That's like 100 feet, I'd say. Maybe a little more. It's about 100 feet. Definitely bigger than the 20 that she thought. But now this is good information for her going forward when she's on walks. She knows how much more space he needs in order to be successful. So we just made a turn, and I wanted to talk about when you have a reactive dog, very often my experience is that they have a harder time with animals off to the side. If they're behind or in front, it's usually simpler, and very often they get upset more with dogs sideways to them. So just something to keep in mind. So we're starting to close the gap. That's them now. Starting to get closer. And so since I'm at the end of the grass, I'm going to show you when I turn. I always do the turn nice and wide so that I'm never turning into the dog. So I'm currently turning. There you go. And they can follow still. If I turned straight around, I'd be walking into her, and that's a big no-no. So I just wanted to say Luke just pooped. So I'm going to wait for them to drop it off before we continue walking. So it works the same when we're going the other way. If there's a delay on his part, if he needs to sniff or something, I can wait. But if he's walking, I'm walking. I don't stop. Here's us. There's them. Starting to get closer. And again, that sideways thing is harder, so I made a nice wide turn all through there to come back this way. And Megan knows if he gets really pulley, she just stops. If he doesn't fix it, she can back up. But he's doing good. Now that we're closing the distance, this is the hard part. For overeager greeters, this is when they can start to get vocal, because getting vocal always means they're experiencing some kind of extreme emotion and they have to vent it. So for Luke, his extreme emotion is frustration. He really wants to say hi to Dakota, but he has to be calm in order to do that, and he doesn't like it. So we're just gonna do this little dance. He had one yip a second ago where he gets to get closer as long as he's calm-ish. If he gets vocal or if he pulls really hard and lunges, Megan's gonna stop. And as long as he stays, nope, too close. As long as he stays relatively calm, he gets to get closer. So I'm using Dakota as the reward. Proximity to Dakota is the reward for the calm. And this is where a lot of things can go wrong. If you rush this, if you lose patience, if you don't let it finish, this can go bad because he continues to be frustrated after this. So if we get to this point, I'm committed. However long the session's going to be is based on this part. So however long this takes, it takes. I don't let them fail to where they don't get to say hi and end the cycle of never being able to say hi. We're going to make it. All right, so Luke is up to the point where he gets to sniff Dakota's butt. Just the butt. 1, 2, 3, back to you. Good boy. And then come right back. We're going to do that again. Good boy. And 1, 2, 3, back to you. Good boy. Very nice. And we're going to do that again. 1, oh, maybe. We don't care. Great. Now we're going to parallel walk. And as always, it's going to be dog, human, human, dog. So the humans are the buffers between the dogs. Now for Luke, we're doing it this way because he gets so excited, not because he gets aggressive or mean in any way. It's just because he gets excited. So if I'm between him and Dakota, he can control himself better. Nice. And he's definitely not avoiding. He's looked at Dakota several times, but he's also interested in the rest of the environment. So while he's like this, I can gradually get closer. And Megan's doing a great job treating for all the nice looks he's doing. Very good. And so we can be...
You kicked it right here.
So we can be pretty close together as long as he can control himself. So he's winning because he finally gets to be close to a dog. And we're winning because he's doing it by being calm and polite. Yeah. So here we are. Very good. Alrighty. So we've been pretty much right next to each other for a couple minutes. And Luke is just acing everything. He's looked at Dakota. He's looked at Mom. He's walked nicely. We are not overly excited at all anymore, which means I'm going to walk away a smidge and put Dakota on the other side. So we're going to swap sides. And now Dakota has direct line of sight to Luke, and Luke does not have me as one of the buffers anymore. And the rule is you have to continue to be this nice, neutral, loving, wonderful, handsome devil. And I love the tail carriage now. Much lower, much more relaxed. Good boy. Evidence of how relaxed he is. He can sniff, and Dakota is right here. And he'd rather just check stuff out. Love it. Good boy. I want to make calm, comfy, neutral. Dogs are not the be-all, end-all that you think they are. Dogs are boring. And this is how we make it better in public. We don't look at every dog and go, friend! Yeah, nice. Beautiful. All right, so Luke's been doing a good job. Walking next to Dakota. Now I'm gonna swap sides. There we go. Switch swap, aka swip apparently. We're gonna swap sides. I'm gonna go on your other side so that Dakota can be next to Luke. You keep walking. Come here, baby. Good boy. And the reason I did it that way is because I want Luke to practice staying on Megan's left. That's her preference. She wants him on her left side. So I'm going to swap sides. If Luke were not being quite so good, I wouldn't have crossed in front of him. I would have crossed in behind him. But since he's being so good, I crossed in front and he did very well. So now we're dog to dog. So now as we work on walking side by side with Luke and Dakota side by side, instead of having any people buffers, Luke keeps offering getting a little excited. So I wanted to show you how I walk away. So we look, I walk away a little bit. We look again, I walk away a little bit. And that's just to help him regulate his excitement on his behalf. It also gives him feedback. Getting intense means the fun thing walks away a little bit. Being neutral means the thing comes closer. Looking at mom gets cookies. So ideally, with him being a service dog in training, he's just going to see dogs and just go, don't care, check in with mom. But this is a big hurdle for him, being a young German Shepherd and a COVID puppy. We're doing very, very well now. There we go. He's regulating himself. He looked away from Dakota on his own there. Look away. Good boy. Yeah. And that's the skill I want him to develop. Look and look away and regulate yourself. Good boy. Right next to Dakota. Very good. Yeah. Nice. Like that. And so here's Luke and Dakota pretty much walking next to each other. And just for the camera, they've never met each other, right?
Nope.
He's never seen Dakota before.
Nope.
Good boys. Very good boys. A little bit exciting there, but good boy. Good recovery. Yeah! Good. And Dakota, my angel, just ignores when dogs do that, and that's perfect. We don't want him to get any excitement from the other dog doing that. Good boy. Very nice. All right, so it's now 12:44. I lost track of when we started. It's 44. Whatever the hour is, it's 44. And so that was just over an hour's work. I'm here for Megan and Luke's second session. She reports that right before I got here, they were accosted by an off-leash dog, and Luke actually did very well. He did not bark or react. He just looked to her, and she was able to diffuse the situation. So that's great. It's only been a few days, so she hasn't had much time to practice, but it's nice to have that latent learning in effect where everything that we worked on, he remembers even though they haven't actively worked on it much. So today is the same plan as the first day, except I'm hoping we'll be able to get to the last two steps of this exercise, which is opposing walking and settling together. So we'll see. So there's Megan and Luke, way up there, probably a good 100-something feet. They stop by stop. Good boy. No cares about Dakota and me. Yeah. So Luke's nice and relaxed. We're following. Easy peasy. Very far away. Well under threshold. So I'm closing the distance much faster today. That's the first hard look we have. Nice redirect. Good job. And again, if he stops, I stop. I'm not going to be a sneak. and catch up to him when he's relaxing. Love it. Checking out the squirrel holes under the trees. Dakota and I are right here. Beautiful. So much more relaxed today, even though they had that episode before I got here while they were letting him have a decompression walk. Nice, much shorter look, much less hard, able to go away very quickly. That one's a little harder, gonna wait longer. Yep, good, beautiful. And that curly tail is because, according to his DNA test, Luke is a small portion Malamute of all things. His face is kind of shaped more like a Malinois, so I found that interesting. He didn't get the big blocky Malamute head at all. So we're already about, sure, we're already about 30 feet away. So close the distance by 2/3. I'll wait here while he's sniffing. So now we're about 15 feet away, pretty close together. And again, I don't micromanage Dakota. I let Dakota do whatever he wants. So this is as organic as possible. Hey there, good boy. But Dakota is very good. He just did a shake-off. Dakota is very good at reading what dogs are ready for or not. And he knows not to give direct eye contact. There's just a couple dogs up ahead. Luke doesn't care, which is great. We're gonna turn because they're not under my control. So I missed it, but Luke just did his first play invitation. Let's see if we get another one. Nope, we ignored him. Good. And as good as that is, I'm glad we're switching out of just excitement into play. I don't want to reward that with proximity either, because I want him to learn about controlling his arousal, and play is obviously very exciting. But we're pretty close now. So we're so close now. We're at the point where he's comfy, even though we're close, very close. And so this is where I'm gonna turn around, and then I'm gonna invite Megan to turn around after I've gotten away a little bit. Okay, Megan, you can turn around. And the reason I get that little bit of buffer is because the threshold for behind is usually smaller than the threshold for in front. So I don't want to trigger them when we turn around. Very good. Nice. I just wanted to show you how much closer they're able to stay than the first day. This is going to go loads faster than the first time, which is great. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but very often. And I like to include coming around a blind turn sometimes, because the dogs can get so startled when something disappears and reappears. So for the dogs who aren't scared, they're just excited, that can be a really good thing to include in the process. So Luke's getting pretty close and staying calm. He's checking in, he's taking food. So we're getting close to the point where we're gonna say hi now. All right, so we're gonna let Luke say hi and just sniff Dakota's butt. And 1, 2, 3, back to you. Good boy. I don't remember if I said, but the reason I like to count to 3 is because we don't want the greeting, oh, beautiful, to be like a long handshake. Neutral already, good boy. So it's a brief sniff and then we move on, but he's already neutral. Good. Nice, yeah. Much better, and he did that one himself. Good. All right, so we had a lovely greeting. It was much calmer than the first one, and we didn't need as many. And now we're parallel walking. And as you can see, we're very close together. Starting off, and Luke is bordering on disinterested. Just lovely. It's exactly what we want. A look, yes, so we're not avoiding. We're just a chill dude. Which doesn't happen very often, does it, Megan?
No. Oh, right, you don't have a front collar.
So, Luke's being an overachiever, and Megan put him on the inside first. Which is technically against the rules, but whatever.
Oh, I'm a rule breaker.
So here's Luke next to me, and here's Dakota, and I'm the buffer. Since he's not scared and just excited, it's a good variation to do, so I'm allowing the rule breaking. If he were scared, I would not allow the rule breaking. Mom being the buffer would be the last element to lose.
I wouldn't want to scare him.
No. So now we've put them side by side. And if we're excitable, we spread apart. If we're calm, we come back together. Thanks for doing that almost on cue, Luke. That was great timing. So here we are. There, good. And he gets a reward for that. Very good boy. Managing his own arousal. That's what I want to see. He can look, that's fine, but not get excited. So he asks for help by turning to Mom and asking for a treat, rather than turning to Dakota and trying to make Dakota play. So that's very, very good management, buddy. Very good, yeah. So it is now 2:54. We started around 1/4 and so it's been about 40 minutes. And we're gonna do the opposing walking now. So you're gonna walk on your straight line over here, and I'm gonna walk on a straight line over there, and we're just gonna walk past each other back and forth. You can treat him for looking at you or for me, and keep him on your left. Great, go! Good job. And for dogs like Luke who are not scared, go ahead and turn. Stay on your track, Mama.
Oh.
There you go. For dogs like Luke who are not scared, the hard part about eye contact is that they will interpret it as a mutual invitation to play. So this is him managing his arousal with eye contact, not from a threatening standpoint, but wanting to play. Very nice. And turn. Very good. Nice. And I have Dakota on the inside. If he were having a hard time, I would have Dakota on the outside. But Luke's doing great. Nice. Very good. One more. Very good. All done. Nice. So we're gonna go settle together at this picnic table on opposite sides here. And again, the reason for that is when we hold still, the brain can kind of revert back to what it normally would do and get overexcited. So being able to settle together is a very challenging exercise. can we literally cope with doing nothing. And German Shepherds are notoriously not great at doing nothing in general, let alone around something that gets them excited like another dog and one of his favorite people, which is me. So you can treat him anytime he is thinking about laying down or if he sits. And if he gets whiny like that too much, he's excited about the dog over there. We're gonna switch tables because it's not supposed to be mix and match triggers. There you go. Treat, treat, treat. Good boy. That's nice. Good boy. Good, good boy. That's nice. Good boy. Nice. Yeah. So here's Dakota. There's Luke. Very nice settles. Very good. So Luke is a bit hypervigilant. There's a lot going on. There's this wonderful family having a cookout. There was a dog barking in the parking lot. There's people at the playground. And he is just ping-ponging like a good German Shepherd should on all the things. Dakota, come here. So when we're working on settling, when he's not ping-ponging, I will work up to moving closer with Dakota. But while we're still this excited just about the world and not even about Dakota in particular, I'm not gonna move any closer. Alrighty, so is he normally like this?
No.
Very good. And so we made it through all the things. Congratulations. I know, it's so exciting. And the next step is to switch dogs. So next time I'll bring Tara.
I know.
That's very exciting. Lots going on. We want to play with all the things, especially the kids on the playground over there.
I'm like, even him not jumping when I pet Mira's tail right now is huge.
Yes, that's very
When
nice.
he's amped up, that just sets him crazy.
That's a good boy.
Yeah.
I know, very excited.